huge, whole, and united. We have to be united together, because only together we are stronger. May the beginning of the accession negotiations be here before us. We will walk this path together, and I'm sure that soon we will look forward to the full membership of the Republic of North Macedonia in the European Union. Thank you.
Well, joining me live now from Germany's capital, Berlin, is Ulrich Brückner. He is a professor of European Studies over at Stanford University in Berlin. Ulrich, always good to have you on the show. I mean, I have to start off by asking, is this a move by the EU to not seem to have double standards? Because within 4 months, Ukraine's membership was put on the fast track, and yet North Macedonia has been pretty much waiting around for 17 years.
Well, if you ask me the question like this, is it double standard? The clear answer is the EU has as many standards as candidate countries, because in the past it was always a customized negotiation. What country is applying and in what stage is the European Community that later became the European Union. Now, when we look at those candidates, it's always a question of what is the readiness of the European Union and what is the readiness of the candidate country. So, of course, it has a lot to do with the timing that Ukraine had to get a signal that you belong to the Western world, and if you want to join, we can't reject the application. While in the case of North Macedonia, it was not only a problem of the name. When we look back, the situation in Greece, when they couldn't stand the fact that there is the word Macedonia in this newborn country that used to be a part of Yugoslavia, they finally settled it. It was one of the biggest achievements of Tsipras and its Syriza government. But once the problem with the name was settled, Bulgaria came up and had other concerns. So it's really, I personally feel very sorry for Northern Macedonia, but it also takes two to tango in the sense that Northern Macedonia has to deliver to be a Western-type democracy, a market economy, and implement every single piece of law. This is the so-called set of Copenhagen criteria.
I like how you responded in terms of the EU having as many standards as EU candidate countries. It makes sense. But I think there was a feeling that the EU kind of treated these two countries' candidate status as one case, though. I mean, am I incorrect?
Well, so, because in the case of Northern Macedonia, you have the largest minority, which is of Albanian descent. And Albania is also a candidate country. So to isolate Northern Macedonia and to treat it like just one case that has nothing to do with its neighbor would immediately trigger a problem with the other neighboring country. And if Bulgaria insists on the much smaller minority of Bulgarians should get privileges, you can't possibly reject privileges of a similar kind to Albania, which then creates a feeling of, why don't we start a pan-Albanian movement and rewrite history and redraw borders? Which in the case of Serbia, or when we go back to my country in the 20th century, can cause terrible consequences. And what is happening with Ukraine at the moment is exactly this kind of pattern.
Since you mentioned Ukraine, I mean, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the desire to strengthen the EU's presence, not only in Eastern Europe, but also the Balkans, and provide some sort of fortification against greater influence by Russia?
Well, when the wall came down, everyone couldn't wait to join NATO because that looked like an insurance to be protected for whatever happens further east. Then countries realized that progress is only possible if you belong to something bigger, if you have access to a single market, and if the solidarity that is executed in the different distributional policies, which was also highlighted by the Prime Minister of Northern Macedonia's comment on, we should get ready for the next financial framework because that is then essential for how much money can be expected from Big Brother to foster modernization in the country that wants to become more like EU member states. So it's absolutely clear that if you don't belong to something, you are left alone and you fight your own fight, as we currently see in the case of Ukraine. This is why everyone can't wait to get in. And at the same time, the European Union wants to send a strong signal that this is not just another backyard of Russia and they can do there what they want, but everyone who feels committed to Western principles and values can feel at home in the European Union.
Ulrich Bruckner, always a pleasure talking to you. I very much enjoyed hearing your analysis. Thank you very much for joining us here on the NewsHour.